Hello, how are you doing today? I hope this video finds you in the best of health, full of wealth, and full of joy and happiness. That's my prayer for you today. So, we're here today, and what I want to do is connect and have a conversation with my survivors of trauma. I want to talk to you about who you are. I am so very proud of you that you've made it this far. No matter what has happened to you in your life, no matter the pain that it caused you, I know that you are a better person because you chose to be a winner, a victor, and not a victim. I am so happy for you, and I am here to talk about what's best for you. Now, to keep that healing, those are things that's in our life. Oh my gosh, that if we're not careful, we can go back into that and allow that to come back into our lives. Because you know, the devil always reminds us of what happened to us. But here is the thing, we survived it. We came through it without smelling even the stench of smoke. We have done well. But is our healing complete? Absolutely not. They said healing is like an onion. It comes off one layer at a time. And sometimes you cry a little bit. But today, I want to talk to you as a victim because these are the things in your life that must be avoided if we are going to maintain the level of healing that has been empowered us through our lives. I am so happy that we have this time together. So my thoughts about this is the things that affect us and how we can avoid being re-injured. So the first thing we have to do is recognize some of our own behavior. Like, why am I anxious? Why am I hypervigilant? Why can't I sit in this restaurant and enjoy this wonderful meal with these wonderful people because I'm so concerned about who's going to come into the door? That's hypervigilant. And that's when you're there, but you're not there because you're so concerned about what could happen. We want to avoid and recognize that if that behavior is affecting us, we want to be really careful. Make sure that we are not allowing ourselves to not be present when we got wonderful, beautiful people around us that are there, that the Most High put in our lives to make us have joy and happiness. Now, another thing is being anxious. Many of us live with anxiety, always waiting for that next shoe to drop, but not enjoying the present moments because we are so concerned about what could be. So I want us to recognize being anxious. Now, being codependent, PTSD, that's what I'm going to call it. Being codependent is when we allow people, because we don't want to say no and hurt people, we allow people in our lives to becoming codependent on them making us happy. Your happiness is your responsibility. It's your opportunity to make choices you wouldn't have ordinarily made because of what you have been through in life, what trauma has paralyzed you in. But today, we're going to give up that codependency. We are not going to tell little Junior when he's 25 years old to put on a coat because it's cold outside. Story time. I had a little boy. All I had to do when it was cold inside and say I was leaving, hey, I'd go get my coat. And it was like he couldn't wait. He'd go pull the whole coat rack down to get his coat. He automatically knew by the time he was 3. I don't have to tell Junior when he's 40 years old to put on a coat. That's codependency. That means we never stop being a mother. And at some times we have to be our child's just confidant and not continue to mother them, because what we do is we stifle their growth. We really do. So you want to wonder why little Junior at 40 years old can't leave home because he needs his mom to remind him. And at 40 years old, why you can't let him go or let her go, because you have adopted them to be closer to you than they need to be at that age, okay? They need to get out on their own, and they need to make a few bad choices in life so that they can learn that it is a bad choice. How did we learn how to make bad choices? Make good choices. Because we made choice that was not conducive for our mental, emotional, and psychological and physical health. We did those kind of things because we didn't know. But once we made those choices in life and they didn't fit our world, we decided those were not good choices. But they've got to go out into the world and figure these things out. Little Junior need to remember, because this is what happens when you continually to remind Junior when he's 40 years old every day of his life to put on a coat. When you're not around, guess what? It's going to be cold outside, and little Junior ain't going to have on no coat because he needs his mommy to tell him. He needs somebody around him who's always telling him stuff to tell him stuff. So let's not do that. Let's not be codependent. Let's come on out of that. Let's recognize it and learn how to cooperate with our healing. Great. Okay, people pleasers. Oh my gosh, it's like we can't say no. That's not a word that's in our vocabulary, and it is an entire sentence. In and O, in and out. Come on now, so it is over. No is a complete sentence, and we do not need to continue to tell everybody in our life no, because we don't want to hurt their little feelings while they are literally destroying us. Hey, let's try that. How about overly empathetic? Every little thing, we run to little Junior. Every little time little Junior falls down on the ground, and we want to run to him and pick him up, when we should stand there and give our little Junior an opportunity to rise up by himself. Story time. My son was one of those kids that loved attention. So every opportunity he got, if he fell on purpose or not, if I looked at him, he would scream to the top of his lungs. I'm telling you, he would scream until I went and picked him up, until I realized I was being manipulated by a 2-year-old. I go, nope, not gonna happen. So one day he fell, and I got right close to his face, and I said to him, get up. I'm not picking you up. Get up. Hey, he's screaming to the top of his lungs. I turned around and walked away, and guess what? Little Junior got up. Yes, he did. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. We become perfectionists. Now, let me tell you something about the word perfect. It does not exist. Look it up. That's how I found out. What's perfect for you may not be perfect for me. That's your perfect, not my perfect. What's perfect for me may not be perfect for you. That's your perfect, not my perfect, not my perfect, not your perfect. Perfect is something we strive for. We're looking for something that does not exist. So do the best you can with what you have. All right? Great job. Now, obsessive compulsive. How many times have you left home and got back in the car and drove back to where you home to find out that you had already locked the door? You did that 3 times. Yes. Make sure you turned off all the lights. Hey, now, so let me FYI, little information for you. Write down a list of all the things that you're compulsive about. All the things that bother you if you were to leave home. Write a list. Put it on the door. Take that list off the door when you get ready to walk out and go and check all those things on the list. Put it back on the door and leave and have a good time. All right? Yes. Obsessive compulsive all of these things are results of trauma, and we want to address them so that we can be free to roam as we please. I believe I can fly. Yeah. Yes. Depression. Depression is a result of trauma. Let's not do that. We don't have to be depressed. Go find somebody happy and stand around them. Yes. Don't be depressed. You don't have to be. Depression is a choice. I remember when I was going through things when my husband told me he wanted a divorce. Story time. I was getting to the point where I didn't want to leave the house. I just sit there and soak, and all I thought about was my miserable life without this man who didn't want to be with me. So, guess what I did? I learned to take my children to the park and watch them play. I learned to do things that got me out of that place where I was stuck in that house where all those memories occurred, and I decided to get out and find a happy place. Yes, I am not minimizing your depression. I am not minimizing how you feel, but feeling is just a choice. You don't have to feel depressed. I am not nagging you. I want to make you happy. I want you to be free to be the best mom, to be the best friend, to be the best coworker, to be the best you can be. Depression is a choice. Yes, I understand you're not feeling. And some days, if you just want to lay around, read a book, do that. But you don't have to do it being lagged into depression. Okay? Come on, let's do that. Give me a call if you're depressed. We can go out and have some coffee. Yes. Overly stimulated. Sit down, get up. Sit down, get up. Sit down, get up. Trying to figure out something to do because you are wasting time, or life is passing you by because you sit down for 10 minutes. That's overly stimulated. No, we don't have to do that. I'm telling you this. It is okay for you to sit down an hour and do absolutely nothing, but open yourself up to the possibilities of life. So this is what I want to encourage you to do. When you feel like you are spinning your wheels and you feel like you have to be doing something, when the house is clean, the furniture has been dusted, the floor has been mopped, the kitchen's been swept, you clean every cabinet in the house, you wash the walls, you have done all the necessary things you needed to do. You don't have to do something just to feel needed. No, you don't have to do that. You're wearing yourself out because you are afraid to be free to just sit and meditate on you. Think about something. Sit and dream. Sit down, get your pencil and paper and design a house that you would like to have one day. Write things about yourself that you like. Story time. So after I got divorced, I was in my house and I was sitting there and I was kind of feel like I was moving into that anxiety where I got to be up and down, up and down, up and down. And the Most High said, I want you to do something. I had this stack of pictures that I had taken through the years, and I just kind of put them all away because I don't really like pictures of people all over my house. I like flowers and pretty things. I know, not that I'm not pretty, yes. But anyway, I got all those pictures and I lined them up. And he says, I want you to look at those pictures and don't tell me one bad thing that you think about yourself in those pictures. Tell me in every last one of those pictures, and there was about 5 of them. He said, I want you to tell me something in those pictures that you like about what you see. Whether it be your nose, eyebrows that I used to have. Yeah. Your beautiful gray hair. Yes, my gorgeous locks. I like my ears. Don't you like my ears? My ears are cute. I like my lips. Yes. Yes, I know I have a mustache and I'm not getting rid of it because it hurts. Yes, and it's okay because it's mine and it's my business. Yes, so I looked through those pictures and for 5 or 10 minutes, by the time I finished, you know what? I liked what I saw. And to this day, and I was in my 40s when I did that. And I have grown to love every bit of everything that has been gifted to me by the Father up above. Hey, he did this. He made this face. He gave me these eyes. He gave me these ears. He gave me this beautiful hair. He gave me everything. And he designed me just the way he wanted me to look to achieve what he's called me to achieve. So I'm okay with just being me. I just love me some me. Yes, I do. I put that on my computer and it goes across my screen and said, I love me some me. Because I love me some me. Yes, I do. Yes. So let's talk about panic attacks. Panic attacks are very real to the person who's having them. But let's get to the source of the panic attacks. Most times, panic attacks are brought on by something that happened so quickly you did not have time to make mental adjustments. So you started to panic. So those attacks come on sporadically when you're triggered. So now let's get to the root of what triggered the first panic attack you ever had, because that's usually the source of where they start. So let's do something about those things. They are very real, and I am not minimizing because I know I have had those, especially when I started menopause. They came out of nowhere. Story time. I was in my bed asleep one night, and I was having hot flashes, and I didn't understand them because I never had one. So all of a sudden, I woke up, and I literally felt like I was going to die. Literally, I felt like I was on the verge of death and there was nothing I could do about it.
and it was dark in my room. And I woke out of a dead sleep. And I just started praying. It's like, what is the matter? What is the matter? So it went on, and it happened about 3 times within a 3-month period. And so I have a friend that's a doctor. And I called my friend and I said, hey, this is what's happening to me. She said, it's very common in menopause. It's a very common thing. It just happens out of nowhere. And if you had this, you know what I'm talking about. And it literally, I would be driving on the freeway and just all of a sudden the thought would come to me. And fear and dread would just come over me to where I felt like driving off the bridge. I don't know where those thoughts came from, but they would just come out of nowhere. And that happened about 5 or 6 times within about a 5-month period of time. And I'm telling you, so my friend said, when they happen, do positive self-talk. Do positive self-talk. Say to yourself, I'm in a good place. I'm in a safe place. There is nothing going on. I'm okay. And those are things that I would do to come out of that. And she said, if they don't pass within the next couple of months, you said it's been going on for about 5 months. She said, if it does not stop, you may have to be medicated. And I just said to myself, oh, no way, I don't like taking medicine. So I decided that I prayed and I fasted and I talked to the Most High. And then all of a sudden, one day, it probably had been about 5 months, and I didn't have them anymore. I know the Most High had his hand in it, but I made a decision. Whenever I felt unsafe, I would just speak up to myself. I just would talk to myself. I am safe. There is nothing to be afraid of. I can do this. I am alive and well. Nothing can harm me. It's positive self-talk. But that's what panic attacks is all about. Now, let's talk about eating disorders, bulimia, and anorexic. Those are all from trauma. Yes, we have to recognize if that's our problem. And those are illnesses. They have labeled them as illness, but I want to truly tell you what my perception on those. If they are a root cause by trauma, then there is something that we need to face and come to. We need to conclude. We need to go back to where that started. So let's take a moment when you feel like when these things attack your body and attack your mind, because it's all started in the mind. All of that's mental. If we've opened ourselves up, or our lives have been opened up to the evil world, a lot of that is driven by demonic spirits. Yes, it is. It is. And most of this is done by demonic spirit. It's pushed and brought on by the demonic spirit. They want to make you think that you're sicker and that you're mentally ill. Some of us may have some mental problems that's passed from generations back. Some of us may have mental problems because of trauma in our lives. But most of us who are on our healing journey, we can do some things about it. We can do the work that we need to do to get on the other side. So let's come face to face with the Most High. When we're feeling unsafe, when we're feeling like something is about to happen, whether it be, why do I feel the need to please this person? People pleasing. Why do I feel like I have to always tell people around me, and treat them like I'm their mother? Why do I have to do that? We need to stop in our tracks. And this was my prayer. When I am doing something that is detrimental to my mental health, prick me, Holy Spirit. Prick me. Let me know. It worked so well. When I got ready to do something, I asked myself, what is my driving motive? Let me tell you something. There is a motive for everything you do, good, bad, or whatever. There's a motive. You're doing it for a reason. So ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why do I feel like I got to go see Aunt Betty even though she doesn't like me? But why do I feel like I got to go over there all the time? Aunt Betty was good to me in a day and time, but she ain't mean. She's mean to me now. Why do I feel like I got to do it? Why do I feel like I can't say no? Ask yourself, why? Why am I agreeing to something I don't really want to do? Why? Because there's a motive why you're doing it. So we're going to learn how to deal with childhood trauma and behaviors that is going to free our minds. Michael Jackson wrote it, free your mind, and the rest will follow. Yeah, I know. That's okay. PTSD. We know what that's about. Excuse me. Gambling, putting our hard-earned money into little machines that eat it all up and give us nothing back in return. Come on now. That's all a part of something that drives us to do these kind of things, to make us feel better about ourselves. All of these things is supposed to make us feel better about ourselves, but once we do them, we don't feel so good. So let's change that. Let's work on changing that. Suicidal thoughts. We know that there's something rooted in why we feel suicidal. What has happened in our life that drives us to want to destroy the very gift of life that the Most High gave us? Why would we do that? We're doing that because we're suffering from traumatic things in our lives that make us feel like we don't deserve a good life. Like we don't deserve the peace and joy that we think everybody else is having. Because we're not the only ones that feel that way. It's many of us. We read the paper, we see the news. Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about phobias. Being afraid of everything. Every time you hear a spoon fall or something fall down, it's that kind of phobias. Spider, we go into dramatic mode. We create our own story, our own video because we're so afraid of spiders. I mean, some of the things I watch on YouTube is like, okay, that's a spider. And let me tell you something. When you visit Africa, it's nothing to wake up with a lizard crawling across your ceiling. It is nothing to do that. But what I decided was this. They never bother me. They don't jump on me. They do none of that. But what they do is eat mosquitoes. Yes, they do. So it's okay. But we have to learn how not to be afraid of everything, how not to jump when things startle us. We can actually learn how to do it. I did. I was one of those that was startled by everything. I'm sorry about my camera, but I'm holding it. So forgive me for that. Then being moody, hot and cold. Angry one time, happy the next. That's moody. What makes us that way? It's because our brain has a memory. And sometimes when we're moody, it's because something is reminding us of something that happened to us that made us unhappy. So we go from being angry to being happy. So let's work on this. So today, this is my conversation with you, and all of these things that I read off, and I'm sure there's plenty more that people deal with. They're all up here in our head. They're all. My thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts. My ways are higher than your ways. The Most High said that in the book of Isaiah. I want to say it's chapter 54, 55. But that's what he said. Free your mind. I promise you, the results, you will be a much happier person. That's my goal for you. And let me tell you something. All of those things I read off does not make you a bad person. It makes you a hurting person that's on a healing journey toward greatness. I see you. I see your legacy. I see your grandchildren sitting around your feet and they are talking to grandmother because they want to know grandmother's journey. They want to know grandmother's life. Why, Grandma, why are you so happy all the time? Well, let me tell you. I see your grandchildren nestled at your house every holiday and you're sitting there just enjoying the gifts that he left for you. I see you enjoying your life. I see you smiling at your children. I see your children say, Mama, you didn't treat us that way. Yep, And my children said to me, I remember when we was kids, you didn't. I went, yep, I grew up. You need to too now. That's it. So if I am helping you, please leave me a comment to say, you know what, this triggered something, this helped me. I want to know that I have been a source of joy, a source of healing for you. I want to know this. I'm going to keep making these videos no matter what, because I want to know that people are getting the help that they need for healing emotionally and physically and psychologically, because we don't need to walk around as broken vessels. I wish that you may be healed and made whole. That's the scriptures. And I agree. I come into 100% agreement with that scripture. I want to see you whole. Because when you whole and happy, I can be whole and happy. Okay? So you have a wonderful prosperous day today and or night or evening, wherever you are in this world, and enjoy yourself. Take it one day at a time. Take it one moment at a time. Find something that every single day that gives you joy. Even if it's sitting out on a deck and having a beautiful cup of coffee, sitting out on a deck and just looking at the grass grow. If that's what gives you joy, go dig in the dirt. Find a gift or a talent that you want to explore. I started painting. I know you guys in the last video saw my easel. I'm learning how to paint. I'm going to Painting School University, YouTube University. That's what I'm doing, to learn how to paint. I got supplies here, and it's a very inexpensive hobby because I'm just now learning. And that's the things that bring me joy, to get my mind off of what's bothering me for a moment, but not run away from it to where it keeps me stuck in that situation. I'm believing the best for you. And my prayer for you is that the next time you see me on screen, you're going to give me a view. And I want the thumbs up. It says, you know what? You said something and I'm doing it. And it brought joy in my life. So be peaceful, be joyful, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.